I don't take it for granted, and I appreciate the fact that you're here and that we are doing this together. It is an amazing moment indeed. It is an amazing experience indeed. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say thank you for coming through. It's on Tuesday, and I know for the Christians after Easter. And I just want to welcome you. Hannah Gabriel, user 332332, Flo Susie, FK Babezwa Embu, Michael Sudi. Big up to what you're doing, Sudi. I appreciate indeed. And Henry Chambal, is it Henry Chambal? Thank you for those that are watching on YouTube. Welcome indeed also. And I just want to say thank you for coming through. I appreciate your effort. On TikTok, karibuni sana. Selin Sally, Chobi, Golden Seas, thank you. I appreciate Love. Thank you so much. I appreciate your efforts for coming through. And it's just a great thing to see you people coming on board and getting to support your own. It's just a beautiful experience. We are here to learn. We are here to bring out the truth, and we are here to not to just innovate, but to excavate our minds and bring our way of learning indeed. So remember, if this is your first time being on this very platform, every Tuesday and every Friday from 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m., always here trying to do what we do best, but trying to elevate our minds, heal our way to becoming. Okay, those very days we talk about relationships, we talk about, you know, spirituality, we talk about also understanding the marketplace and many other topics. And there are a few things that we're going to be introducing soon and very soon. Last week I was not able to join us on Friday because it was so hectic. I was invited somewhere, and it was a very good experience having to go out there and also touch other people's lives. So without wasting time, I just want to say karibuni sana. I appreciate your efforts for being a part of this conversation. Those on YouTube and also those here on TikTok, asanteni sana. I appreciate indeed. All right, Sasigal at Keishi Crunch underscore KE, Miss Diego, Nancy. What's up, Nancy? How you doing? Vic Mo Automobile. Thank you so much for coming through. I appreciate indeed. I don't take it for granted. Yes, yes. So today's topic, I want to talk about, relationship transparency. But before we go to relationship transparency, ladies and gentlemen, remember that there's a link on my bio for those that are watching on TikTok and also YouTube. There's a link just on my bio. You can get a hold of it. You can go to www.salimcyrus.com, and there's a lot you can learn on that very platform. There's still a few things that are being worked on that very platform, but I believe it's gonna bring something tangible indeed. So let's keep on doing this. Let's keep on learning. So once again, if it's your first time joining this very platform, you're home. You're home. Tafadhali, you're home. So don't feel like you're not home. And there's a lot for you to learn here. All right, all right. Today's topic, relationship transparency. And then one thing that amazes me is the need for us to just get around what life is giving to us, because there's a lot of so much that is happening around us, and people are not willing to see the reality. Just today I was scrolling on one of the social platforms, and I got to see this man who is a CEO in this very great company. And him being a CEO, one of the things that got my attention is that he had 7 children. 7 children who were not his. Just imagine, 7 children who are not yours indeed. And it's quite unfortunate he had to divorce the lady and let the lady go. But the reason why the topic of today it's all about relationship transparency, it's because I want to bring something. And please don't touch that dial, because I'm going to make sure that I speak the truth as it is. You know, there was a day I was almost flagged out because of what I'm putting on the table, but today I'm gonna try my level best to do it in a way that it's going to be transparent but sensitively. Uh-huh. All right, let's just delve into today's topic and get to understand what is happening, because I just have like 10 things that I'll be talking about concerning this issue of relationships and its transparency. CK, Kadogzi, thank you so much. And Lucky B, thank you for joining. I appreciate. Sammy Aid, 35, Grace, Mirab, 649, thank you so much for coming through. All right, and for those that are watching on YouTube also, I appreciate your effort for being a part of this conversation. I don't take it for granted. Charles Moutier, 667, Bray Emily, Hamed Senkaduda, Nameless, big up on yourself. Zeleni, asante sana for coming through. Oh yeah. What comes to your mind when there are certain topics concerning relationships? What comes to your mind when people are about to talk uh, on issues concerning marriage, concerning, relationship transparency, and many other things? What comes to your mind? So, ladies and gentlemen, even before we get into this very moment and get into the core of what we are going to talk about, those that are watching me all the way from Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, South Africa, Ethiopia, all the countries in East Africa, West Africa, Northeast Africa, South, West Africa, thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. And all over the world, Canada, UK, all those places, thank you so much for coming through. And despite what is happening in the world, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to let you know that we are all humans. We are all humans. And despite of our color, despite of our differences, our cultures, our traditions, and all that, at the end of the day, we are still humans. And we speak one language. And that language is love. That language is love. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So in today's world, we get to see so many things happening, and people are losing themselves in the process, because at the end of the day, they have nothing that is of substance that comes into their being. Statistically, men are 10 times most likely to commit suicide because of the issues thereof. And I want to make it clear to us that it is quite unfortunate what is happening in our society, because of the evidences that that society has really tried to portray concerning the man. Because why is it that men are 10 times most likely to commit suicide? It is because men are in a place whereby they tend to give more than being appreciated more. And it is quite unfortunate. The woman of today was taught that when a man comes into your life, that man needs to be financially stable. That man needs to be financially stable. And number three, that man needs to be financially stable. And the woman of today thinks that the right man is all about the money he has. But it is quite unfortunate, my dear brothers and sisters. Because at the end of the day, as much as money is important, money is not the core of any relationship. Money is not the core, because we have billionaires, we have millionaires who are living marriages, who are living relationships. And we have all these kinds of people who are committing suicide all over. Why? Because the foundation of any relationship is not dependent on how much money you have. The foundation of any relationship is not dependent on how big the car you drive is, because money can buy you all these material things, but money can never satisfy the emptiness, the hunger that is within humanity. And each one of us, what we are looking for is fulfillment. Each one, what we are looking for is fulfillment. There was this young man who used to show off his money on social platforms. I think he comes from one of the countries in Africa, and by the name Jenimbi. If you can remember that guy, Jenimbi, you know how he got unalived from, out of an accident and all that. And it tells us that money is not the core of everything. Money is not everything. Look at what is happening even to the American rappers today. Look at what is happening. Even today, some of us woke up from this news that there was some shooting somewhere and then something happened. It tells you there are levels where money cannot protect you. There are levels where money cannot protect you. Look at the people who are perishing in hospitals. Why? Because there are levels where money cannot solve some problems you have. It can be in health, it can be materially, it can be even emotionally, because money is not everything. Money is something that we work for so that it can solve our our issues of life materially. So when we talk about relationship transparency, what is the ideal thing that we are trying to put into perspective? I've come across so many people who've lost themselves in the process because these people were not willing to be transparent in their relationships. They were not willing to partake in the reality of what is required in any or in every relationship, because their need to be in those relationships, it was all about showing off. It was all about, I'm a lady and this is who I am. But at the end of the day, it was not about fulfilling a purpose. And that is why it is dangerous to get involved with a man or with a woman without understanding their purpose. It is dangerous. You cannot move, you cannot become, you cannot stand, you cannot achieve anything if you're not willing to get it right with yourself. Because purpose is very important. When it comes to relationships, purpose is very important. And that is why, my dear brothers, I want to let you know this moment that the only way you can establish yourself is when you understand your purpose in this life. Because purpose will direct you into understanding why you were born and why you exist. But the problem, most of you, you're too busy to understand yourself. You're too busy to understand your purpose in this life. And the reason why some of us, we are having these platforms, it's because we are enjoying when people learn the truth about what is happening in society, in relationships, in governments, and in various institutions. Because personally, my desire is to see that we change, we be transformed, we be molded, we be shaped, because our way of existing, it is in finding our purpose. So, relationship transparency, modern day relationship. The other day I talked about the percentages of what is happening in our society. That the young people, especially the Gen Zs, 70% of the young people, 70%, in fact 70, just imagine, 70% of the Gen Zs are HIV infected. And then I came to understand, and so many people were talking about, these young people are sleeping around like nobody's business. And then I realized that the Gen Zs are not sleeping around. In fact, whatever they're experiencing, it's because of their millennial parents. Are you getting the point? Because when this disease came, it affected the millennials, and the millennials did not have an idea of how to curb this issue. So the children that were born were the Gen Zs we see. And most these, I've engaged with these young people, and most of them, they're experiencing disadvantages. And it is quite unfortunate. Two wrongs can never make a right. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me go to our first point so that we can bring clarity into this very conversation. Point number one, we are talking about relationship transparency. So point number one, the contract of trust. The contract of trust paradox. The contract of trust paradox. That is what we are going to talk about. So we need to understand, if trust is absolute, why is verification necessary? Some argue that requesting, medical tests. I want to talk about the issue of transparency when it comes to people engaging in relationships. It is quite unfortunate that today, in the modern day, people are sleeping together without even checking out their status and all that. Today, a young man will find a young woman in the streets. You like that young lady, and that young lady will give herself to the man without questioning. At the end of the day, it's all about satisfying yourself. But you never take responsibility to check to check if everything is in order, especially health-wise, because you want to sleep with that very person. Have you gone deeper to understand who they are? Have you gone deeper to understand what they do? You just want to do it, and then at the end of the day, that is why today, the word kugongewa, the word, getting that woman and having one night stands, it's so common because ladies want to do it the way men do it. But ladies, I want to tell you this moment that you can never be the same as men. A man can sleep with 1,000 women. A man can sleep with 10,000 women, and nothing is going to change for him. I'm telling you the truth, nothing is going to change for him. Because for him, at the end of the day, when he wants to marry, when he wants to get involved, amongst their 1,000 women, he'll choose one. And he'll not choose from their 1,000 women, he will choose separately someone different that he will really love to marry. And that is why also, ladies, you need to understand, a woman can sleep with only 15 men. And amongst the 15 men, no one will want to marry you because you've given yourself so much. At the end of the day, it is all about you taking responsibility. Ladies and gentlemen, my question is this. We need to have this conversation and make it more interesting, because at the end of the day, it is all about bringing light to our people. So some argue that requesting a medical test implies a lack of faith. Today when you want to sleep with someone and then the lady suggests, what, do you have a condom? Can we go and get tested? The man will begin to complain, oh, you don't trust me anymore. My sister, don't let your guard down when it comes to your life. Don't let your guard down, because the contract of trust is very important. The contract of trust. Number one, trust begins with you. You have to trust yourself. Don't just sleep with anyone when you meet with them. Nowadays, it is so easy to hit on married women. Men, that. It is very easy to sleep with most married women because of what they are going through in their marriages. It's very easy. And I've seen a bigger percentage of married women sleeping all over with men, and they don't care. And all they can say is nyama kwa nyama, nyama kwa nyama. Why? Because for them it is all about satisfying their, their way of becoming. Nowadays, even women who are married, single, especially, I've seen it. I have an evidence of some single mothers somewhere, and they don't care. You bring a man in your house and you have daughters, you have sons, and you just sleep with that man you just met the other day, and that man will not come to that house again, and you're just sleeping with that man in the house without caring, because the contract of trust is not even present with yourself. You're not willing to pursue that trust and walk with it and just stand your ground and say, you know what, I'm not going to do these things, not because of God. Let me just take my glass of water to make it even more interesting. Oh, yes. I'm alive. Don't worry, I'm alive. So when you see me do some things, just remember I'm alive. Even some house fly can pass here. So just know that I'm alive. Huh? Anyways, it is life. What am I trying to say? It is quite unfortunate what we see in our society. So many of these single mothers, most of them, and I'm not saying all of them, I have seen it with my own eyes. You bring men into your house. My dear brother, you don't care about yourself. You want to sleep with so many women as if it's a world championship you're contesting for. But at the end of the day, you're going to lose yourself in the process, because remember, that is energy you're taking out from you and you're giving it to another. That is why there are things that cannot work for you. That is why you're so emotionally unattached to your partner, because you're not willing to give yourself to them. You're not willing to allow yourself to be a part of them. Because at the end of the day, you want to satisfy, the way you feel. And you want to be happy. Life is too short. That is what we always say. Life is too short. And this is one issue that is affecting each one of us. This thing is affecting Christians, Muslims. Don't be fooled by our Muslim sisters who are wearing the long dresses and all that. Don't be fooled by our Christian sisters who are holding their Bibles and don't be fooled by that. This is a human issue. It is not a religious issue. It is a human issue. Yeah? You can wear all those long dresses and long shirts and whatever. You can wear them, all those things. Don't fool yourself thinking that you're going to pour water on yourself to cleanse yourself. Water will do nothing. The issue is in your mind, in your consciousness. It is not in your body. You can go into the bathroom and wash yourself, but the issue is here. You know those moments we used to do crazy things and you just go into the bathroom, wash yourself, and then you feel like you're clean? My brother, you're not clean, because your mind has been distorted. Your mind has been distorted. So the contract of trust is very important. And you have to sign that document with yourself, within yourself. You have to sign that document. And you tell yourself that I'm not going to do these things. There are things I'm not going to allow in my life. And I'm going to stand and take responsibility, not because I'm married, not because I'm a religious person, not because of God, because I am a principled human being. Are you getting the point? And that is the only way you can become and be able to focus on what is productive. My brothers and sisters, I want you to understand, while others contend that trusting but verifying is the only responsible way to protect oneself, you need to just allow a boy coming into your life and telling you, oh baby girl, you're beautiful, oh baby girl, you look fine. Come on. Just because he's handsome, just because he's beautiful, my brother, can be beautiful and full of gonorrhea, syphilis, herpes, and some funny diseases. Can be handsome, and he lacks stability of life. So the contract of trust is built within yourself. not with a, with an, not with a, with an. You have to have that document with you and say that I will focus on who I am and do what is purposeful, purposefully right with me, not because of other people. So let me go to point number 2 so that we can have something concerning this. And please, if you have a question, I'm here. You can ask me any question and I'll be glad to help. And if you have a very sensitive question, please DM me. I'll be able to help you. And terms and conditions apply indeed. So point number 2, health as a collective responsibility. Health as a collective responsibility. What do I mean? Individual privacy often clashes with the collective health of a couple or of the couple. Does one partner's right to medical privacy outweigh the other's right to informed consent regarding their own body? That is the reason why I want to talk about this. Some of you want to have big weddings. You want to have big experiences in this life. But now when it comes to the issue of sex, you don't want to think. Most men, they just want to get into it without thinking. That is why it is so stupid for a man to think with his balls. It is so silly for a woman to think that when she's undressed, she's the most beautiful woman. Let me tell you, we all look ugly, especially men. We look ugly when we don't have our clothes on. We look ugly. Yeah? Stop lying to yourself that you have biceps and triceps. No. Yeah, stop lying. Men, we don't look beautiful and all that. And ladies, let me tell you, I want to make it clear to you that you're only beautiful to that very person that is emotionally attached to you. You're only beautiful to them. This other, it is all about trying to find what they can do with you, how they can go about it to get you. I've seen so many young girls who wasted their lives because they tend to think it is all about, it's all about clubbing. The more I club, the more I look beautiful. The more I sleep around with men, the more I become better. Oh, this man is good. Let me tell you, I've met with different ladies out here. And let me tell you, a bigger percentage of these ladies are very easy to get. Very easy to get. And I came to realize that the only way you can break free from these kinds of identities, it is all about doing what is required. What am I saying? My dear sisters and brothers, if you lack purpose, you will become a destructive person. If you lack to understand your purpose, you will become a destructive person. Because when it comes to matters of health, when it comes to matters of how you are, you need to be very intentional, my dear sisters and brothers. You need to focus on what is productive, because at the end of the day, you cannot build on something that has no reasoning. You cannot build on something that has no capacity to enable you to understand. Because at the end of the day, it is all about you moving towards what is of essence. So health as a collective responsibility, it is about realizing that you need to bring your partner and talk to them and agree on something substantial. Don't just sleep around. If you want to sleep with that person and you feel you are emotionally connected to them, my dear sister and my dear brother, stop. Let me tell you one thing. Do you know why I'm talking about this? I've visited a few hospitals. I've gone to different communities. And let me tell you, people are sick. People are very sick. And there are people who are falling in love every other day, but they don't care. And they will not let you know that you're sick, that they are sick. Some of them are not kind. And they will take advantage of you. They will do whatever they want. They will embarrass you in the process. I've seen it. Young men have decided to become, the other gender, the other gender. Why? Because for them, they've lost who they are in the process. Some ladies, they've decided now they are going to marry themselves or marry other ladies. Why? Because they don't feel, they don't have anything to give. Because they were heartbroken, they were trashed, they were made to feel nothing in this society. So take responsibility, my brother, because whatever you want to achieve in this life, whatever you want in this life, it is all about you coming to the truth. And you can never become if you're not willing to see these things that I'm talking about. And some of you are very ignorant because you want to experience life. You know, we want to party. I'm not saying it is bad to party. I'm not saying it is bad to go to a certain event. I'm not saying that it is bad to meet with friends. I'm not saying that it is disadvantageous to just experience life in a beautiful way. All I'm saying is you need to be responsible. You know, am I a fool to come here online and just tell you these things? Do I lack, you know, time to just spend with myself? No. I have all the time to enjoy by myself. But I've taken this opportunity to let you know, my sister, because it is important for you. You need who you are. Thank you so much, Aaron. You need who you are in the next 10 years. You need who you are in the next 20 years. I can see, is it Lavresina saying, my June sister came back from Nigeria infected with SIDA plus hepatitis C. It was too late for treatment. Look at that. So many people are going through tough moments. So many people are experiencing crazy things in this life. Sorry about that. But the problem is we are having, especially Gen Zs. Gen Zs, listen to me. We were once young like you, very young like you. 23, 20, 18, 17, 16. We were there. We did our stupid things. Some of us wish that we listened to what we were being told. Until some of us became parents, and today we understand. Today we understand. The problem is most of us are not willing to see that reality. Because we want to experience life, you know? Shake ya, bam bam, wine to the floor. That is what you want to experience, eh? Yeah? Wine baby girl, wine. That is what you want to see. Yeah? Yeah? Water nyash. That is the thing that you want to experience. Aaron, yes. Yeah? That is the thing that most, and then gents, ladies and gentlemen, let me talk to the men. You want to see that lady shake her body. That is the thing that you want. You want to touch it. You want to feel it. But without taking responsibility. Come on me. Yes, it is true. You know, it is okay. It is good to admire these things. And I'm going to be real with you. I'm not saying Nyash is bad, my brother. All I'm saying is you need to take responsibility. You need to take responsibility. My dear sister, I'm not saying money is bad. I'm not saying money is bad. But work for your own money. A man who keeps on giving you money every other day and is not married to you, you will pay for it. Men invest where they see worth. So if sex is the only worth you can give, I'm telling you, that man will take advantage of you. And there's nothing you can do about it. He will take advantage of you. Very true, CK. He will take advantage of you. He will do whatever he wants. He will hit it. He will kick it. He will it. Because at the end of the day, whatever a man pays for, doesn't care. Let me ask you, for those that are married today, why were you not married? Ladies, I'm talking to you. Why were you not married by the boyfriends you had? Aaron, thank you so much. Watching me all the way from Lira. Thank you so much. Let me ask you, why were you not married by the boyfriends you had back in the days? Some of you, you are not married by those boyfriends because, number one, those boyfriends saw that they cannot have someone like you. Number two, you are not too mature, you are not mature enough to be in a relationship. Number three, you are not competent enough to become a wife. Number four, that is why you are struggling to have something that is of substance, even in your future. Why? Because all the things that happen to you, you're still carrying them into the future. And that is why most of you are not getting it right. My brother, why didn't you marry those ladies you know very well? I don't want to talk about men. But my dear brothers, you know very well why you didn't get married to those ladies or to that lady. Let me go to point number three. Let me go to point number three. The stigma of the clean result. Clean result. So using term like clean or dirty in quotes regarding test results creates a moral hierarchy. What do I mean? This can lead to shame and prevent people from seeking help, ultimately changing or damaging the relationship's emotional foundation. So what do I mean by this? The other day I was just having a conversation with this young man, 19 years old, HIV positive. And then I felt sorry for this young man. And this young man told me, I cannot go to this hospital because I can't afford other hospitals. And this is the only hospital I can go to. The problem is, I can't go to this hospital because there are people that know me. There are doctors that know me. And those are the doctors that will take care of me. It is called stigma. There's still stigma in our society. Ladies and gentlemen, is that the kind of life you want to experience? You know, today I was just watching this short clip, and there was this man who was accused that he unalived the wife, and he was sentenced to jail for 15 years. In those 15 years, he had a baby, and he left the baby. The baby was only 3 years old. Quite unfortunate. So because the guy was considered retarded, you know, the courts and basically the law decided to punish him by giving him those 15 years. So after 15 years, that guy came out. Because of how he was, he thought that the child is still 3 years. And after that, he came to meet the child, who was now 18 years old. Ladies and gentlemen, in that very story, this man was trying to fight for one justice, to just get back his daughter and to experience life with the daughter. He didn't care about any other thing. So what am I trying to say? When you get to understand purpose in this life and what you really want to achieve in this life, you'll get whatever you desire. And everything will fall into perspective. Because the order of becoming, it is all about growing into what will elevate your way of thinking and your way of becoming. So what am I saying, my dear brothers and sisters? You as an individual, you need to realize that the only way you can structure yourself is to find balance in your life. So this issue of stigmatization, it is happening in our society. So just like this young man who is 19 years old, who cannot go to this hospital because he feels like people are going to laugh at him, people are going to do crazy to him. And that is what many young people are going through. I've seen people in marriages and in relationships experiencing the same. Look at what is happening. For those people, for the young people who, for us who experienced the era of the late President Mwai Kibaki, may his soul rest in peace. You remember the wife came with the idea of having a company in the country, a condoms company. But people laughed about it. Today I'm older and I'm like, okay, this thing, it is proper, because people are not listening. And people just want to sleep around. People want to sleep around. You tell people, you know, based on religious standards, you tell people, you know what, brother, you need to hold, you need to be pure. You need to be holy. That is the religious statement. Be holy. But people don't care. You know, I did my own research. And let me tell you, when you go to church, people are sleeping with each other like nobody's business. They are humans. And God knows that these people are humans. They need to relate. They need to enjoy themselves. Stop confining yourself in church. Stop confining yourself. Our Muslim sisters and brothers, they are doing the same. So let us stop lying to ourselves. We are humans. We still want to get, we all lie to ourselves. The other day, some Buddhists, some monks were found watching pornography. Yeah, they were watching pornography. And they were arrested by the other monks because of what they were doing. Why? Because they wanted to experience something extra, something beautiful about what sex holds and all that. Why is sex considered to be one of the greatest sin when it is done out of marriage? It is because people tend to think that whenever you penetrate someone who is not your wife, you're doing some damaging. Yes, of course, you're damaging. But look at the people that have slept with one another when you are young. You met that first boyfriend, you had sex with him. You met with another second boyfriend, sex with him. Third boyfriend. And then you're proud enough to say that I was in 10 relationships, 5 relationships, 6 relationships, 7, 2. Come on. My sister, let me tell you, you lose your value when you sleep with more than 2 men. You lose your value. Trust me, you lose it. This one you will not be told. Don't tell me that you pray to God and God took away your sin. God dealt with your mind, with your consciousness. He dealt with that. But your body already experienced that kind of pleasure with those different men back in the years. And these are things that people don't want to talk about because you want to play holier than thou. Oh, my sister, how many men have you ever slept with? Only 2. Only 2. And you think, come on. Stop lying to that man. My brother, be open enough. If you be open, if she wants to know, be open. I'm not saying that is the conversation you should have with your partner, but that is the reality of the matter. Just the other day, I was watching on one of the social platforms. This pastor was caught sleeping around with the sheep, eating the sheep, instead of protecting the sheep. That man is still human. We do not judge. All I'm saying is we need to take responsibility. We need to take responsibility. Watu wanagongewa hapa nje na watu wanagongana hapa nje, and they're in marriage. What are you doing with yourself? What do you want with yourself? Your wife can go 2 minutes, 3 minutes to the shop. You won't know what she's doing. Your husband can go 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes out. You will never what he's doing. You never know what he's doing. So at the end of the day, what happens? You lose your stability. Because at the end of the day, when something funny happens to you, you crush yourself. You devalue yourself. And these are things that people don't want to talk about. Let me go to point number 4. Financial stability versus emotional bond. Financial stability versus emotional bond. CK, you're saying, but the thing about spiritual ties, is that real? CK, let me tell you one thing. This issue of spiritual ties, it is a misconception. What we need to understand, biologically, our bodies, like when a woman gives birth to a child, there are cells that remain in a woman's body. There are cells that remain in a woman's body. Now let us go into the spiritual side of it. This is what you need to understand. That there's nothing, you see, preachers only use that because they want to create business out of that. There's nothing like spiritual ties. What ties? What are those ties? What happens to you? You're only tied up to a past that is not allowing you to become. That is why you are told, don't allow your past to define you. Don't allow your past to define you. So, these people, I know life is spiritual in itself, but religious people want to use that as a tool to make you think that you're still married to that person back in the years, 10 years ago, 30 years ago. But what you need to understand, that your body will never change. Yeah? You lost your virginity to one man. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, let me talk to you men. You see that lady you got married to? You see that lady you got married to? Listen to me, my brother, I'm talking to you. You see that woman you got married to? Right now you're doing 20 years. Right now you're doing 5 years, 2 years, 10 years, 4 years. Let me tell you, that lady will never forget that one man that broke her virginity. She will never forget. She knows it. She might not have that love for her, but she knows it. She knows it. She has that experience within her. Huh? She has it. Yeah? I don't want to go deeper into that. But that is the reality of the matter. She will never forget it. She will never forget it. In fact, let me make it even much better for you to feel it. I know you're like, but let me make it even better. There is one guy in that woman's life that made her feel like heaven. One guy, and she remembers very well. In fact, sexually. I'm telling you, in fact, sexually. Leave alone you. You're trying to prove a point by going 30 minutes, 1 hour, 5 hours. There's one guy who did it the way she loves it. In fact, maybe you failed. Hata mali uko wewe labda, there's nothing. But I want to let you know one thing, my dear brothers and sisters. Marry a woman that is emotionally intelligent. Marry a woman that is emotionally intelligent. As a man, that is how you will survive. If a woman has emotional intelligence, I'm telling you, your life will become better. Stop having these women who want to compete with you. You see, when you begin having conversations with your wife in the house, conversations on finances and quarreling and all that, that is a woman who is trying to compete with you. She has her own money. She cannot bring her own money on the table. She's trying to compete with you. She's not willing to build with you. She wants to make you think that her money belongs to herself. No. Let us get out of this mentality that a woman's money is her own money. She can be with her money. Don't marry a woman like that, my brother. For those that are not married, don't marry a woman like that. Marry a woman who understands the values of marriage. A woman that understands the values of marriage. Don't marry these women who say, my money is my money. My money is my money. Do away with those ones. Let them be single. Let her deal with her own money. And to you sisters also, don't get married to these men who are always lazy. They cannot even, climb somewhere and do something. Don't get involved with these kinds of men. I'm telling you the truth. It is quite unfortunate what is happening in our society. And people are losing themselves in the process. So what do I mean? The only way to structure ourselves is to find purpose, is to find what is productive for ourselves, so that we can be able to move past what people tend to think. Because the idea of us growing is dependent on how flexible we are to do things the right way. So when we talk about financial stability and emotional bond, the number one thing that we need to understand or ask ourselves is a relationship substantial if it lacks a financial plan? So many people are losing themselves in the process because there is a lack of financial plan. You and your partner, you don't talk about money. The problem is that your wife goes out, does her own things. You as the man, you go out to do your own thing. Your CK, hopefully we are back. And hopefully you're sorted in this moment. So financial stability versus emotional bond. So is a relationship substantial if it lacks a financial plan? Many argue that love is secondary to economic compatibility in today's society, leading to mercenary relationships. What am I talking about? You're too busy trying to build something, but the other person is not even willing to do it the way it's supposed to be done. Let me correct that error of the network here, please. Let me correct that error so that now we can continue and make it even better. Oh, okay. Hope we're back and hope we are okay. For those that are watching on TikTok, hope we are okay. Is the network okay? So financial stability versus emotional bond. Most of us lack emotional bond, but we are together because of financial stability. We are together because of financial stability. You want to be with your woman and your man because of finances. That is why you are existing in that relationship. There is nothing that is of substance indeed. There is nothing that is of value. Because you thought it is all about what that man should give you. You know, I've traveled like almost the whole, the whole country, Kenya. I've been to Karibu, all the counties. I've been there. I've been to, I can't mention the counties, Vileziko, but I've been to Nyanza, I've been to the Mlima, I've been to whatever. I've gone to Marsabit, all the way down there. I've been around, and I've met with people, different people, different cultures, and I've seen what these people are doing. I'm telling you, the world is crazy in itself. Because you get to find that there's a certain community that I don't want to mention. If a man does not have money, don't get involved with that man. That man is not capable of taking care of you. Am I saying that you marry a poor man? No. Poverty does not solve relationship problems. The thing is, we need to be very intentional in how we structure ourselves. Find a person that you can build together. Find a woman that you can co-work and take responsibility. CK says, they say no romance without finance. Don't marry these kinds of women who are coming. If, my brother, if that woman comes to you and tells you there's no romance without finance, let them go. My brother, let me be open with you. Don't allow religious standards prove you some way. This is the truth. A man can get sex anywhere, and a man can have children even without marriage. The reason for marriage, it's about revealing the standards of God. Because marriage is something that God initiated. But brother, don't get involved with a woman that that just wants to be with you because of money. Don't get involved. You can get whatever that woman wants to give to you anywhere. Don't get involved. Don't mess up your life. Don't entertain these kinds of women. Personally, I don't. My money, I don't entertain it. I don't do it with you. I cannot. I'd rather give my money to men. Personally, I'd rather give my money to men than giving it anyhowly to women. I'd rather give it to men anyhowly. I'd rather. If you come into my life, you come with purpose. You come with principles. You come with values. Because you're not here just for money. You're here because of purpose. Am I stingy? No. I'm focused. I'm purposed. I'm designed for greatness. And the reason why I'm where I am is because there are things I denied myself. So financial stability is very crucial in a relationship. So marry a woman who's already able to help you become. I love what I saw today from one gentleman who said, this one guy said, he's very scared to marry a poor woman. He is very scared to marry a poor woman. And this is what I'll tell you, my brothers. Also, don't just, it is only the men who can marry a poor woman. Don't marry a poor woman. Don't marry a poor woman. At least marry someone who is doing something for herself. Or you'll become that problem to her. You'll become that something that he'll be working on. He will make you lose yourself in the process. So let me go to point number 5. Point number 5. The myth of exclusivity. The myth of exclusivity. So what do I mean with this very point? Statistics on infidelity suggest that many monogamous relationships are not. Testing acts as a cold reality check against the assumption of lifetime exclusivity. Let me explain it and make it even much better for us to understand what this very statement is talking about. Many people tend to lose themselves every day because for them it is all about what is coming into their world, especially ladies. If he cannot take me to Maldives, if he cannot take me to China, to Japan, if he cannot buy me a car, and that is why we see our young ladies getting married to old white men out here. And I see them holding hands with old white men. Okay, it is none of my business, but it is just a comedy in itself. It is a comedy in itself. You get married to this old man who is almost kicking the bucket. And there are ladies who thought that they are going to win. They are going to get the jackpot of a lifetime. But this dude passes on. And there's nothing for her. She gave herself to an old man who slept with her. Yeah, and then the man was only giving out some tips. And there's no longer value on what she was giving herself to. Yes, sleeping around with old men, thinking that it's going to give you value because your need is money. Money. And then you reach 50 years, you wish that you had children of your own. No man wants to marry you. If you're 50 years, and let me tell you, if you're 50 years and you want to get married, the only thing that you can use to get married to a man who is younger than you is money. Let me tell you, if you cannot get an older man like you, the only thing that you can use in that very age is your money. I'm talking the truth. I'm telling you the truth. You'll only use your money to trap these young men who can walk with you without shame because they know money is coming out of this. Where's your value? Where's your standard? Where's your standard? So it is very important. And that is why when it comes to monogamous relationship or relationships, let me just drag this puzzle over here for those on TikTok are watching so that we can continue. Very, very beautiful. So when it comes to monogamous relationships, I'm telling you, people are crazy. People are doing crazy things out here. And I don't want to go deeper into that because it comes at a point in life that you have to think about your life. What do you want with yourself? What do you want for yourself? What are the things that you want to achieve? Okay, you experienced life as a young girl. As a young man, you experienced life. Remember you were 20 years some years ago. Remember you were 15 years. Remember you were only 30 years some years ago. Right now you're 40s, 50s, 60s, some of you are 25. You were only 16 the other day. What do you want with yourself? You are busy sleeping around. Imagine 3, 4, 5, 6 men slept with you at a go. You are busy giving yourself that one. But let me tell you, don't judge yourself with the past. But let me tell you one thing, my sisters, a woman's past is very important. My brother, I'm telling you this. A woman's past is very important. So don't just marry any woman who comes your way. And my sister, do you know why you're struggling even to get married? Because your past is dirty. And that man who wants to marry you, when he comes and then probably enters you, he gets bored because what is that new thing that you're going to give to your husband that you've never given to your boyfriends? What is that new thing? There's nothing new because there's nothing new, totally nothing new. That is why some of you are struggling in your marriages. And this is one thing that I've figured out. That the reason why so many women and many men are struggling in their marriages, especially ladies, you're struggling in your marriages, it is because there is nothing that of value you can give to your husband. Nothing, totally nothing. I'm telling you. Because the things that you were supposed to confine them for your husband, you gave it to a few men back in the past. That man now is married to some lady out there, but when he walks, he says, you know what, I've ever slept with that lady. That is how men talk. Hmm? And the other day, I just walked past some few men who were saying, you know what, I nutted inside that person. Oh God, that's crazy. I nutted inside that lady. My sister, do you know why your husband doesn't even want to go down on you? Let me tell you the truth today. Because of those thoughts. Some man, some years back in the years, nutted inside of you. And he doesn't want to do, he doesn't want, he can never. Because of those thoughts. I'm not going to be a serious. Because of those thoughts, he knows he didn't marry a virgin. Hmm? So those thoughts keep on lingering every other day. Oh, you don't even go down on me. You don't even. He knows that, come on, someone else ever nutted inside of you. Hmm? You see, this is water. One finger inside the water. It is not that dirty. But 5 fingers, it becomes dirty. So, it's quite unfortunate what we are seeing in our society today. Ladies, don't tell me you're a Christian. There's nothing Christian about you. Don't tell me you're a Muslim. There's nothing Muslim about you. You are a human being, and you have your weaknesses, and you have your issues of life. But you need to take responsibility. You need to do what is required. Look at what is happening in our society right now. Hmm? Ladies get pregnant and they throw children in the toilets and all that without caring. Hmm? Why? Because it is only ladies who can do that, not men. Men cannot do that. You know, they go, wanaume wanaachanga watoto. We leave those children with you, mama. But let me tell you, ladies have a tendency of throwing children in the toilet without caring. Without caring. Hmm? Let me even talk about this lady who is called, let me give her some attention here. Lydia Kurui. She's saying Kunyonga live, inbox, short time. Kunyonga live. That lady saying that. That is a lady. And then this kind of a lady will come some years and say, I want to get married. Huh? She was busy touching herself. And many men were seeing her body, you know, and all that. And many men were enjoying. And some men will pay to have sex with her. And then those are the men we want to marry. The women we want to marry. Hmm? Joyce Kalunda, it's always the women's fault. Really? I'm not saying it is always the women's fault. But women need to take responsibility. Women need to take, don't be cheap. Don't be easy. Men are taking advantage of you because you're cheap. Because you're so easy to take back. I'm talking also to married women. Don't be cheap. You're too cheap because your husband got mad at you jana usiku. You're too cheap. You want to go and sleep around with him. Come on. Stop being cheap, my sister. Stop being easy. Because you saw a celebrity passing by and you're like, oh my God, that celebrity. Oh God, I can give myself to that. Ladies all the time. Jackie Son, yes, true. Jackie Son is saying yes, true. Ladies sometimes become loose. I like this topic. Thank you. It is true. Ladies become so loose. Very easy. Una chipo dem, deadly normal. Hapa nje. And the lady is just okay with whatever is, whatever is in our society. Very okay. And I've begun talking about issues on these things. Joyce Kalunda, you're saying, stop comparing yourself with a man, Joyce Kalunda. Stop shallow thinking. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. It does not take two to tangle. It does not. That's shallow thinking. I'm sorry to correct you that, but that's shallow thinking. I don't want to go deep on that. Let's go to point number 6. Let's go to point number 6. Parental rights and future children. Parental rights and future children. Let's talk about that. Testing isn't just about the couple. When people want to engage themselves to sex and all that, testing is not about just the couple. It is about future offspring. You know, I was watching Halle Berry talking about one day he went to the doctors to be tested. How many of you know Halle Berry? You know, millennials, we know Halle Berry. Gen Zs, Poleni. And it's only a few millennials who know Halle Berry. Baby, una smell fresh ka lavender and cherry. Sijui ni kuite Mariah Jo vile umekari. Ring kwenye belly na smile ya Halle Berry. Oh, you know, back in the days we used to get some swag from the one and only Basco Bath, you know, those that know him. So Halle Berry used to have this smile and this power, you know, a certain kind of body that many men used to fall for. But so Halle Berry was giving this story, and she was talking about, you know, how she went to the doctor and she was tested too, and then the doctor said, you know what, you have herpes. But later she decided to, you know, to do some tests for that so that she can get it right. And the same doctor later found out that she did not have herpes. In fact, it was you know, that a certain kind of disease. See, not a disease, it was a sign of menopause, and it was quite unfortunate because there are people that have come to a place whereby they don't understand even their bodies and all that. And every time I tell ladies and gentlemen, you know what, once in a lifetime, go to the hospital, let your body be tested. You know, test your bodies here and there. Go to a trusted doc, go to a certain hospital, spend some money kidogo, just testing and all that to see how your body is. But some of you are scared because you know very well you don't want that report. You're scared of that report. You think probably you're HIV. No, you need to learn. You know, there's this thing that we are told, what you don't know doesn't kill you. What you don't know doesn't kill you. But let me tell you for a fact, what you don't know will kill you. Yes, Jackie Sony. Yes, for sure. Yes, you need to go to hospital to be tested. You need to go to hospital to get it right indeed, so that you can be able to see how everything turns around. Because the test is not about you. It is not about the two of you. It is about the future. Remember, one day you want to be a parent. One day you want to be a father or a mother. You need to test yourself. Is it ethical to forego testing when it could prevent vertical transmission of diseases to a child? No. You need to go out there. Nicole Pleasner sent a lion one time. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate indeed. So you need to be very, very, you know, intentional when it comes to these things. And the reason why I'm saying this is because we try to lose ourselves in the process. You know, do those tests. CK, you're saying rigging again? Hopefully it's okay right now. Hopefully. So parental rights and future children, very important. Remember, my brother, go out there, do it. Be intentional. Take responsibility. It is not about you. It is about even the children that you don't have yet. It's about the life that you want to have in the next years to come. It's about the things that you want to achieve. I'm telling you. One day, nowadays I just sit. Huh? Yes, you need to go. They're sweating a lot during the night. You need to go and check yourself and see what's up. Hmm? There's no sin in that. Huh? Stop lying to yourself that you'll pray to God to heal you. Hmm? Come on, that's ignorance. God does not heal people that are functioning on stupidity. So parental rights and future children is very important. So as a parent, you need to have um, a reasoning on how you can structure things and build things and enable yourself to do what is right. So let us go also to point number 7. Point number 7. We still have time. I'm going to go up to number 10 and then we're going to call it a night. So, point number 7, the testing as an ultimatum conflict. The testing as an ultimatum conflict. So, what do I mean with this? When one partner makes testing a prerequisite for intimacy, it can be viewed as coercive rather than a boundary, potentially souring the power dynamic early on. What do we mean with this? When two people come together and they want to do something together, most of the time you get to find that the other person does not want it to happen that way. But especially the men. They want things to happen their way. And we have these masculine ladies. It is all about how they want it. If you cannot do it like this, you don't love me. If you cannot listen to your man, and this is what I always tell my dear brothers, don't marry a woman that cannot listen to you. Don't marry a woman that cannot be corrected. Don't ever do that. If you cannot correct that lady, and she's, she doesn't show respect, don't do it. In fact, move out if you can, if you're not married to her. And if you're married to that lady and she never listens to you, she's toxic all the time, I'm telling you, sometimes your happiness matters a lot. Even you as a lady, your happiness matters a lot. As brothers, men are suffering out here. Don't suffer in the name of love. If that woman cannot do it right, if she cannot be intentional to be your woman, for me, I believe women are supposed to push themselves to come to the man, come to. You see these women who are so into money. Do you see how they are? They they can do whatever they have to do for the man to do, to give them whatever they want. They will go far and beyond. They will act feminine to present themselves. They will do justice so that the man can feel the need of, you know what, this is how it should be. But it is quite unfortunate that most married men are suffering in their marriages. Most married men. Why? Because there is no intentionality. There is no that intimacy. There is no that feeling. Because anytime when you get to see that a woman waits for you to do something, remember that woman is competing with you. Don't get involved with a competing woman. Oh, I'm waiting for you to begin it. That is not a woman that you should have. A woman should be vulnerable to you. A woman should be able to be, that feminine energy is very important for a man in order for him to even do so many things. And I'm talking about the real men. I'm not talking about these men who are so rigid. Your woman is so feminine, but you're not even willing to, to participate in her femininity. Quite unfortunate indeed. So intimacy is very important. So the testing as an ultimatum conflict, when one partner makes testing a prerequisite for intimacy, so people should be able to join one another, participate, get it right together, and move and get it right so that they can build something that is futuristic. You know what I'm talking about? So point number 8, compatibility of a chemistry. Compatibility of a chemistry. So society often prioritizes spark, but substantial relationships require clinical compatibility, checking for lifestyle habits, health statutes, and genetic predispositions. What do I mean with this? Compatibility over chemistry. Oh, there is no spark in this relationship anymore. There is no spark. Are you intentional? There is no spark because you are not intentional with your man. You're not intentional with your woman. There is no spark. And that is why you're busy out there. You don't want to make it right. I'm telling you the truth. So, in order for you to enjoy your relationship, there are things you need to prioritize. As much as that spark is very important, you need to be clinical compatible or clinically compatible. Your bodies, do you check yourself? And I've talked about this over and over, even from the beginning of this conversation. I've talked about it, and I think it is important for each one of us to allow us, because in this era, one day I went and I was in one of the beaches, 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 and I was sitting there watching the ocean. You know how the ocean, just getting the feel of the ocean breeze. And let me tell you, sitting around these men, and these men were talking about women. And one of the things that I got to understand is that most women have lost themselves while trying to prove a certain kind of point. Do you know that there are ladies who go to swimming, who come from all over, and they come to Mombasa, they want to enjoy themselves in the beaches and all that. And then we have these beach boys. I'm so sure you've met with some videos on social platforms, and there's a guy who goes out and about trying to show what is happening in those beaches. And I was just looking at what is happening. I'm telling you, there are ladies who just want to experience how it is to have it inside the ocean. I'm telling you. Oh, bro, let me tell you, I got one, and you know what? She told me she just wants to experience, and she doesn't care about her body. She doesn't care about herself, her health. She doesn't care about, a few ladies have, aborted babies out there. She doesn't care. And then we blame it on men. Oh, I was raped. That is what happens. Oh, they did this to me. No. Oh, I was raped. But let me tell you the truth. It was not like that. Some of you ladies, you gave yourself because of fantasy. You wanted to experience, oh, how does it feel to do it inside water? And I'm telling you, we thank God for what is happening in the Indian Ocean. The reason why God decided to make Indian Ocean to be salty, He knew that salt is a protective mechanism. Because whatever we could have been, I think some of us, we've swallowed crazy things in that ocean. There are things that we've swallowed, but because of God's grace, we are still alive. It's crazy to think about it. The things that are happening out here, it's crazy. And it is quite unfortunate indeed, because our ladies want to experience life. You want to enjoy it. You want to feel the groove. If money, without money, there's no romance. This dude needs to give me romance with money. That is what you need to do. But the question is this: do you want the best for yourself? Do you want the best for yourself? Because your intention is to focus on just having it in that moment, but you don't think about the future. And then you begin struggling with issues of life, financial issues, spiritual issues, mental issues. Oh, and then you blame it on men. Men are dogs. Men are dogs. Men are dogs. Quite unfortunate indeed. So instead of checking for lifestyle habits, health statutes, and genetic predispositions, we are all focusing on the spark. There are important things beyond the spark. Let me go to point number 9, and then I'm going to conclude with point number 10, and we call it a night. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're joining for the very first time, we always begin from 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. East African time. So, point number 9, vulnerability as a weakness. Vulnerability, some people say it vulnerability. Vulnerability as a weakness. So, opening up about one's sexual history is often viewed as too much information. Yet, hiding it creates a shadow self within the union. Ladies and gentlemen, some of you don't know about each other's past. You don't want to talk to your partner concerning your sexual life. Oh, before you marry that lady, before you marry that man, talk about your sexual lives, experiences. Talk about it. Don't lie about it. My sister say, me, I've done it with 7 men. Ongea ikutoke, bring it out. I've done it with 50. Nowadays, ladies, ladies are the champions nowadays. Eh? The other day I saw this lady, in fact it was some years ago, this lady who went out and about with I think 1,000 men because he wanted to infect the men with HIV and all that. And there are women who want to enjoy 1,000 men. She has that kind of fantasy. And this lady who is very famous. This lady, some of us, I will not pretend Jackie Sonny, what if he undermines me? No, he won't undermine you. He won't undermine. If he's for real, he will not undermine you, Jackie Sonny. He won't. There's this lady, we all know that lady, and let us not play Christian. In fact, Christian men don't see in a Christian women, we know what we do. We rush on those platforms and we want to see those ladies. The Egonga. The Ogonga, the Egongas. Nilijikuta. Stop lying to yourself. There's a Kenyan lady, I don't want to mention her name. That lady, you know what she does. Because she's understood her hustle. And she wants to go out and about to be crazy and bring about these crazy things. And she doesn't care. Because it's her body at the end of the day. My body, my choice. My body, my choice. A fantasy that was created by a politician in the minds of women to make them think that they can do whatever they want. Ladies, let me tell you, you might have all the money in the world. I might not be advising you the right thing right now. Maybe I'm not even making sense to you in this particular moment. But take responsibility. Oh, you know what? I will raise my children. I will raise my children. How I was never raised. You're busy giving your children phones. Let me give you a good example. This young man has a child who is 1 year and 6 months. And this young baby knows a few words, knows how to mention a few words. Same age, there's a young boy who doesn't know about any word. Because this young boy was taught the phone is the only tool that can keep him silent, make him enjoy. The only thing that the boy knows is the games. But this young girl knows so much. She knows how to mention a phone. Say, what is this? A cow, a cat, a house, aeroplane and all that. But this other young baby knows nothing. Continue raising your child. Especially single mothers and some of you silly men. Your child cries, the only thing you can give to your child is your phone. Oh, take the phone, play with the phone, cocomelon, sijui what and what and what. Grow up. Teach your child natural things. Take your child to the streets. Let her learn how it is. Take your money out of your pocket, give it to your children, to that child, and teach her or him. Let them know what is this. Tell them this is money. This is money. And you know what? Money, you work for it. That boy or girl is only 1 year, but he will begin to, because you be consistent with it. Teach them. Bring something and tell them, what is this? These are AirPods or earpod, whatever. Just teach them. Teach them something constructive. Stop giving your children phones and thinking that you're doing them a favor. iPads, tablets, and then you think you're raising children. You're raising zombies. A child now speaks like those. Cocomelon, that's a zombie. Those are not real children. You're raising zombies. And it is quite unfortunate. I laugh. You get into a friend's house and the child cries over the remote. And you feel like you can one, but you're like, thank God I'm not the parent. But I will not allow such a thing in my world. I cannot. I will have to raise with integrity, with a discipline. But most of you, a bigger percentage of you, you're raising your children with gadgets. Oh, I want to keep quiet. 24/7 you're on the phone. Oh, baby, stop. Baby, stop. Take the phone. Sit there. Teach your children to be bored. Let them be bored so that they can figure out what activity they can do. Create for them moments whereby they can be creative without getting into the phone. Stop telling me, nowadays, get out of here. Stop telling me that. But nowadays what? Get out of here. You're just being a lazy parent. Huh? I can see Perpetual on YouTube saying, what a blessing session. Thank you. Thank you indeed. So it's quite unfortunate. Mr. Bing is saying a silent terror connected. Yeah, yes. Stop raising your children as zombies. Raise your children with integrity. So what I'm trying to say is vulnerability as a weakness. It's important. It's important to be vulnerable. And it is not a weakness. You need to allow yourself to be present to your partner. Talk to them about your past and let them know who you are. Some of you were demons, and that is why you're trying to confine yourself in holiness and kindness to your husband and to your wife, and you know very well who you are, and your man and your woman is struggling to become, struggling to evolve, because the only thing he thinks about is, you know what? He's lost in the moment. He cannot even function, because at the end of the day, your demons are suppressing the reality of that relationship, because you're not vulnerable to that man. You're not vulnerable to that woman. So at the end of the day, what happens? You lose yourself in the process. So ladies and gentlemen, remember, the most important thing is for you to take responsibility. Point number 10, the last one, role of technology. The role of technology. With the dating apps and rapid testing, sex has become fast-paced, yet the conversation around health remains in the dark ages. Nowadays, it's easier to have sex without a man and without a woman. You can buy Samantha. You can buy dildos. You can buy all these things and just have, there's no real conversation about these things because you want to satisfy yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, in fact, let me talk to the men. Men, I want you to understand one thing. Want to get involved with a woman. That very woman, she can satisfy herself with you. Because for her, it's never about penetration. It's about intimacy. It's about intimacy. It's not about penetration. A woman can satisfy herself without you. And that is why women are busy buying dildos. Women are busy doing all those crazy things. You know what I'm talking about? Women are busy going out and about, touching themselves, because at the end of the day, they can satisfy themselves. And the men, you know what? We destroy our mental faculties because our way of doing things, it's all about trying to prove a point. And that is why we get to see many men lose themselves in the moment, because at the end of the day, they want to just to be seen that they can be men. But you're losing yourself in the process. So technology has made so many things be confined in one place. We have our phones, we can watch pornography, We have all these things, we can do whatever we wish because we want to satisfy our fantasies and all that. Don't tell me you're a reverend, you're a bishop. Don't tell me you cannot buy me with that. You cannot bribe me with that. Oh, I'm a bishop, I don't do that. Oh, I cannot talk about that. No, peel that skin of religion and take it out. Do that. You're lying to me when you're telling me that you've never done this. You're lying to yourself when you tell me that this has never been a part of you. Let me confess it to you. I'm a human being. I've been there. I've been there. And I know what damage it can cause, and that is why I'm bringing this to your attention. My sister, stop what you're doing. Masturbation will not help you. My brother, stop it. Masturbation will not help you. It only destroys your mental faculties. It erases your ability to become. The only thing you think about is how clean you can be. Because at the end of the day, when you've masturbated and done all these things, you feel dirty. Your heart is somehow, needing to be loved even more, but it can't, because at the end of the day, you cannot even satisfy yourself in your marriage, get satisfied in marriage, because your body was so used to your fingers, your body was so used to your hands, that you no longer desire your partner. You get what I'm talking about? That is the struggle of so many people. So technology has made so many things to be very present and visible, that nowadays someone messes up, let us record and put it online. So once again, I'm telling you, my dear brothers and sisters, stop what you're doing. Stop what you're doing. You're only destroying your mental faculties. Masturbation will not help you. Stop, masturbation will not make you become a person that you desire to be. It will only destroy you. Take responsibility. So, wisdom concerning all this, it is based on understanding one thing. There's a lady by the name Elizabeth Cady Stanton said, truth is the only safe ground to stand upon. So today I had to speak this truth and make it clear to us. And there's a lady by the name Reina Maria Rilke said, love consists in this, that two persons protect and border and salute each other. Do you have a partner that salutes you? Do you have a partner that appreciates you, that loves on you, that holds you and prays for you, that says, I'm going to be with you no matter what? Do you have a woman? Do you have a man who can just lay their hands on you and say, baby girl, baby boy, it's going to be okay? And from an unknown author, this one said, a relationship without trust is like a car without gas. You can stay in it all you want, but it won't go anywhere. What kind of relationships are you in? What kind of women and men are you dating? Ladies and gentlemen, take responsibility. Life lessons for substantial unions. What I need to make clear to us is that clarity precedes comfort. The most uncomfortable conversations usually lead to the most comfortable lives. So today I had to be uncomfortable with our conversation so that we can come to the place of comfortability. So addressing health and finances early presents catastrophic surprises later. Ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude by saying, take responsibility. You were designed in this moment to have something that is of substance in the future. What are you doing with yourself? Take responsibility. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been our 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. conversation by Salim Cyrus. We were talking about relationship transparency, and I'm so happy that you came on board and we had to engage ourselves with this very conversation. So keep on supporting this very platform. I want to go to 100,000 followers. Tafadhali, make me reach to that level. 100,000 followers. I'll be very happy to be in 100,000 followers. I know people are aspiring to be 2 million, 3 million, 4 million. I just need the 100. Tafadhali, let's share this very platform and let's get to have a conversation that is going to build us and enable us to get to understand how life is. Please remember, every Tuesday from 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m., all the way to Friday 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m., we talk about relationships, understanding spirituality, and also understanding the marketplace, and including all the life lessons. So ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand that we are in the moment of advancing to what is productive. So we need ourselves to pursue that which is true and definite. Let us structure ourselves indeed. So thank you once again for coming through. Thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. Please follow me on my YouTube channel, Salim Cyrus Connect, and I'll be very happy to be a part of you. Let us be a family. Let us build one another. So let's meet another day as we do this all the way. So I'm going to say good night. This has been Salim Cyrus. Good night, people.